Now our book detail is working as expected. On this page, we have authors that is pending. But before we work on author, there are few things with Entity Framework Core that you should be aware of. So let me switch back to the application, and where we have the index, we saw the least efficient way and we saw the more efficient way. But that is also not fully efficient. Before we modify that, let me take a look at the query one more time here. We will refresh the page here and continue. When we look at the output window, the publisher table is accessed 3 times because we have 3 distinct publishers. If we had 10 publishers in there, it would have executed 10 times plus 1 to retrieve all the books here. So this is what we call n+1 execution, and determines on how many distinct publisher calls we have, and +1 to load all the books there. So that is not efficient. Most efficient will be to handle all of them in a single call, and that could be done with the help of eager loading. Eager loading is the process where query for one type, like book in our case, also loads the related entities as a part of that query, like publisher. So basically, when we are retrieving books, if publisher is automatically retrieved as a part of that, that is eager loading. And because of that, we will not need separate query execution for the related queries. Eager loading in EF Core is achieved with the help of include statement. Let me stop the application, and we do not need the for each loop in eager loading. When we are loading the books here, we can use the .include statement, which is inside Microsoft.Entity Framework Core. We will have to add that using statement. Now here control dot is not working. All we have to do is add Microsoft.Entity Framework Core using statement. Perfect. And then when we are including here, we need to define that when the books are loaded, which property we want to be loaded automatically. In our book, we already have publisher, so we can add that navigation property. EF Core already knows the foreign key relation because it established that in the first place. So because of that, it will be able to load the publisher when the books are loaded. So basically what we have in include here will be the exact same thing that we had in reference right here. Once we do that, let me run it one more time and see what happens in the query execution. We hit our breakpoint here, and let me continue. Let me clear that again and reload that. Examine the output here, right here. Perfect. You can see this time it is using a join there, and it is retrieving everything as a part of one query. So that is how it does the mapping, and it is way more efficient than the n+1 execution that we saw in the beginning. So you can see here the benefit that eager loading brings to the table as compared to explicit loading that we were doing so far. That being said, I can replace eager loading in one more place in our application. We scroll down. Right here, when we are retrieving the book detail, we can automatically tell to include the book as well. So on book detail, we can use include here, and I want to include the book as well. We do not even need line 83 right here. Let me run the application and see that. We go to book here, and let me remove the debugging point, and let's go to detail. Perfect. That is working as expected. One thing I would like to point out is when you are using the .include in detail, where is that? Right here. You cannot use the .include after first or default like that. It will not work. It has to be done before the first or default, because include will work on the complete entity. Let me open up the output one more time here, and we will go back, clear that, hit details, and perfect. You can see we have the join once again. With that, we have learned a very important concept called as eager loading with EF Core.